Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 92 days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is going to include many different pieces of nostalgia, as well as pieces that will tell the story in between the events of Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, and Episode 7, The Force Awakens, in very unique and unpredictable ways by J.J. and George Lucas. Now, we do know that this film is very important to Disney and Lucasfilm, and that they plan to really do something very much different and new for the fans that they have never witnessed before in the Skywalker saga. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that both Rey and Kylo Ren are holding hands, where Rey is said to be holding a Jedi holocron, and Kylo Ren is said to be holding a Sith holocron, as they are both shrouded in darkness. As this happens, it's explained that they are walking on a metallic bridge, and are using a new force power that is Disney's version of flow walking, which allows them to see visions of the past. It's explained that one of the sequences that Rey and Kylo witness as they walk through this strange environment is a lightsaber battle between both Snoke and Luke Skywalker. Snoke appears to be using a white-bladed saber of some kind against Luke's iconic green saber. However, Snoke is described to be dressed in a purple robe, with a strange mask over his face while fighting Luke Skywalker on a strange world. Now, it's explained that the setup to Snoke and Luke's past is going to be explained in Episode 9 to a certain extent, and what they went through years ago before the events of The Force Awakens, and Kylo Ren's turn to the dark side. The scene is said to be brief and similar to Luke and Kylo's duel in The Last Jedi flashback, where another sequence even involves a moment where Rey and Kylo Ren witnessed Luke Skywalker training Leia through the ways of the Force some years after giving birth to Ben Solo. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to be a movie that's going to not only be a revelation film, but it's also going to be a movie that's going to be used as a foundation to create new Star Wars lore, and to add in new mediums to the franchise. So, let's talk about flow walking for a second here. Now, a lot of fans out there may be wondering, what in the world is flow walking? Now, in Star Wars Legends, that was essentially time travel. Jason Solo was able to actually pull off this move, where he could actually see elements of the past and learn from the past and apply that to the present. And that's exactly what Rey and Kylo Ren are doing right now during their flow walking session, where they actually do get to see a battle between both Luke and Snoke eventually, green lightsaber to white lightsaber, on a strange world. We're not quite sure what the name of this world really is, but it's said to be a very brief vision, very similar to how brief it was in The Last Jedi between both Luke and Kylo Ren dueling. So, with that being said, on top of all of this, this is actually said to be done through the Force Bond. Now, J.J. Abrams wanted to take the Force Bond sequences to a different level in Episode 9, where Rey and Kylo Ren are going to be able to do different things than they would have pretty much never dreamed of doing, right? So, as this all unfolds, they are actually holding a Sith holocron and a Jedi holocron. Now, we're not quite sure on whether or not these holocrons belong to known characters, or if these are holocrons that they just discovered at random. But nonetheless, they are using these holocrons while they're using the Force, the flow walking technique using the Force Bond. Basically, it's going to be a way for them to see elements of the past. Now, it's very possible, since we do know that there is going to be a holocron of Luke Skywalker in this movie, that, of course, Rey is holding on to Luke's holocron, and Kylo Ren is holding on to Palpatine's or somebody else's, for all we know, right? And with that being said, we can already see that Disney and Lucasfilm want to make the holocrons very well known and get it just as familiar as lightsabers to new and casual fans around the world. Now, the other piece that I do want to go over is the environment that they're in. Now, before the visions actually start up, it's said that they are shrouded in darkness and walking on a metallic bridge. This, in a strange way, I will admit, sounds very familiar. It sounds very similar to that of the Worlds Between Worlds. I don't know if you guys ever saw that episode of Star Wars Rebels. I do suggest that you guys go ahead and check it out. But the Worlds Between Worlds was a big deal because Dave Filoni essentially pretty much introduced time travel and how one could really change elements of the past and really change the future. Now, in this scenario, though, the flow walking technique, you cannot change the future. So it's somewhat different than what Dave Filoni applied in Star Wars Rebels, and JJ's doing his own take on it from what it seems. It also makes sense as to why JJ had a lot of discussions with Dave Filoni while he was writing the script and while he was even shooting this movie for roughly 1 year. You know, this movie does have a lot going for it, and it does have the opportunity to mark itself down as the best film of the sequel trilogy, and maybe, and just maybe, even a fan favorite of the entire Skywalker saga. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.